All right, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show.
What up?
Now, on the line, we have a very special guest. Fighting Patty Boy Farrell this weekend will be this man's fighter, John Lennox. But on the line right now, we've got the manager for John Lennox. It's Rich Mencini. Welcome to the 14A Sports Radio Show. How you doing?
Fellas, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All right, Rich. Well, we appreciate you being with us. Thanks for calling in. Obviously, I guess your camp saw the interview last night, so let's just start with this. What do you think? What'd you think?
Listen, you know what? I got to tell you, a few things. The most important thing is I think everybody who comes out is going to see, a great show.
Absolutely.
Not only limited to, and of course I'm going to get into, John's opponent and so on and so forth, but not only limited to that fight, you just have a great show. You got GH3 Promotions putting a great show on Friday night. That's Vito Melanicki's promotion companies, and he's partnering with Greg Cohen on this, and it's going to be a fantastic show. So I hope all your listeners can get out there and, see a great night of professional boxing.
Absolutely. We're all looking forward to it.
On a personal note, I have one of my prospects also on the card. John will be fighting right before Anthony Juice Young, who's a welterweight prospect. He's a phenomenal fighter, and we're really looking forward to it. We recently signed with GH3 Promotions, so we're looking forward to to Friday night. As far as you guys interviewed the other day, listen, it was great. I mean, of course, truthfully, and I'll tell you. As candid as I possibly can. I was trying to get John on here. John's just finishing up his last training session. Hopefully he can get in touch with me and I can pull him up on this call before the end of the interview. But either way,
right?
Yeah. John is ready for this fight. He's conditioned. I think in fighters' careers they have step-up fights. And I think for both John's opponent as well as John Lennox. This is a fight where two guys are going to be facing off, and I think they're pretty evenly matched, which is kind of rare in the sport that we're in.
Rich, right. Rich, now for the fight, stylistically, Patty told us he's a little bit more aggressive. How about John? How does he usually fight? Does he usually switch it up? What can we look forward to in terms of the style of the fight?
All right, I can tell you this: John's main asset, amongst many things, is. He's an athlete, and I listened to Patty the other night. Hopefully, is it Patrick or Patty? Listen to
Patty's either or.
Patty the other night. I understand he has a football background, and John does as well. John played 2 years professional football in the Arena League for Kentucky, and it was a Division III All-American at Montclair State. What the biggest problem with John, sometimes we ran into in the past, is he tends to come a little flat-footed and lay on the ropes. This fight, he's conditioned tremendously, and I can pretty much tell you he's not going to be laying on the ropes. John's going to use his athletic ability, move, in and out, and, when it's time to drop the right, the combinations and get the attention of his opponent, he will definitely do so.
Very interesting. So just to get a visual, Patty told us right now he's about 6'2", 220. What kind of what's John looking at?
You know what? I got to tell you, they're pretty similar in size. John's about almost 6'3". He's a shade under 6'3", and should come in at about 230 for this fight.
Okay.
He should be about 230, 232 for the fight. And like I said, prefacing by saying he's in great shape. Couple things, though, that, was said, amongst all the personal things, because, truthfully, I don't get into much of that stuff, nor does John.
You sure? You don't want to get into the personal?
Come on, we're here to promote the fight. It makes a great radio.
I'll give you some things. But beyond that, to say a few things, I know it was said that, I guess, in our opponent's mind, he thinks that we were ducking him. And truth be told, that's the furthest thing from the truth. His management or / promotion, his representation, Sal Lessie, is actually
Sal Lessie. I know Sal Lessie. Yeah. I played.
Sal's a great guy. I have a great
guy.
relationship with Sal.
Great guy.
And we've been talking about this fight. The only thing that was kind of a different viewpoint was we were initially when Sal approached me, it was true. John had just come off a loss and was out of the gym. Right. And then we had tried to make the fight a few times after that, but we were looking for 8 rounds. We wanted 8 rounds.
Right,
I know it was said the other night by his opponent that we didn't want 8 rounds. We certainly are conditioned for 8 or 10 rounds, whatever it takes.
So why are we fighting 6 then, Rich?
Yeah, come on, us the fans, we want more bang for our buck.
Well, yeah, you know what? I think you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck because I can tell you this. We know that our opponent's going to come forward. Hey, listen, the man's a fireman. He deserves credit for that. And he saves lives. So a lot of respect goes out to him for that. But for what he has to say, personally and things like that, we plan on, John taking care of business on Friday night in the ring and answering a lot of the ill will on the other side. But I can tell you, guys, honestly, there was never anybody dodging this particular fellow. We fight. John's fought, some top fighters, but truth be told, he fought some journeymen as well. So
right.
These guys, for the person who's buying the ticket to come to this fight, whoever it might be, I mean, there's very rarely fights where you have 2 guys very similar in size, ability. They both have ability. They both have power, and they both can be taken out. So we plan, in this case, on taking. This is a stepping stone fight for us. It's just a matter of business. That's all it is. We have a big fight waiting on the back end of this. But first and foremost, the most important thing is taking care of our opponent on Friday night.
Yeah, that's right, Rich. I mean, you don't want to be looking ahead to the next opponent, but as you touched on earlier, John actually had lost his last fight, a fight to Roderick Ray, and a lot of people around the state were calling that a big upset win for Roderick Ray.
You know what, guys?
What?
They're right. No, you're 100% right. I got to tell you this. The reason that we didn't jump in sooner than this, and when we first got the call from Sal, John just wasn't in the gym. And I'm going to tell you this. I have a lot invested in John Lennox. A lot because of the person that he is, and that goes a long way. I'm sure our opponent's a good guy in his own right, but John is a tremendous guy. What I will say, though, is it was a big letdown. John was trained tremendously well for that fight. But the things that we don't see, you don't see, or I don't see as a manager, the fans don't see, or even, his trainer doesn't see, is the road work that's supposed to be done while nobody's looking. And truth be told, John was winning that fight, but he wasn't conditioned for the rounds. It was bumped up to 8 at the last second because they ran out of fights on the show. And it's no excuse. No, there's no excuse. But, when a fighter's mind, when they start trying to use the gas tank and ration it out for 8 rounds, and then you run out of it, he had the kid in trouble 3-4 times. And this is the difference between that fight and this fight. He will have our opponent in trouble in this fight. The only difference is he's going to be able to pounce and take care of business once that happens. Versus in that fight, he really, he wouldn't pounce. He had him in trouble, but he was scared to run out of gas, and he wanted to do the rounds. And unfortunately, after that, quite frankly, I was disappointed. And some partners of mine were disappointed, and it took some soul searching for John Lennox to come back and to be where he is right now in a position to take the next step.
Now, do you think that loss right there to Roger Ray, is that going to dictate any, any differences that are going to be in Lennox's game come Friday night?
Strategy-wise?
No, you know what? It's a good question. That's actually a great question.
Great question.
I asked it.
Nice, Walsh. That's why you come to the 14A Sports Radio program.
You know what? No, great question, but, unfortunately, unless you're Rocky Marciano or a few chosen few like Floyd, fighters have losses in their career. Sometimes they come early in their career, and it's an inopportune time. I've been in this game for 20 years, and unfortunately, sometimes they come at an inopportune time, which it really was for John. But I don't think it's going to reflect on anything except his additional training that he's done. So it'll reflect in a positive way versus a negative way. He won't be gun shy or anything like that. It's not his style. He's John is conditioned and ready to go, and greatly looking forward to this fight and this opponent.
Rich, building on that, we got into Patty when we interviewed him about his training regimen and what he did and how long he did it. Can you just give us, give us a glimpse into what John Lennox's training regimen was, how long it was, or anything you can give us on that end?
Yeah, I could. We recently, not for bad reasons, but we recently made a switch after the last fight. And I want to preface it by saying we trained head trainers, lead trainers. Ray McCline, who's a phenomenal trainer, trained Ray Mercer, trained Virgil Hill, and so on and so on. He trains my welterweight, Anthony Juice Young, was training John. But because of logistics, it was a lot of travel for John, because John lives in Woodwood and Carteret, and I would have to put him in camp in Atlantic City, because that's where the gym where Ray is out of every time John will fight. Right. So because of certain things, we changed trainers. We have we have two guys working with him. Of course, Buddy McGirt, ex-world champion, will be in the corner with John on Friday night. Okay. Al Cole's done a lot of work with John as well, future world or ex-world champion as well. Like I said, we've trained, in similar nature. Do a lot of cross-training, like it seems his opponent does. I heard the thing where he's doing some tire work and things like that. And a lot of athletes nowadays want to do that type of cross-training.
Patty Boy's been working on the tires. Did you check out any of the photos he's got there on his Facebook page?
You know what? Truthfully, no. Actually, I got to tell you honestly, guys, and I'm glad, because I think you guys got a great show.
Thank you.
I personally wasn't aware of it. It was one of John's fans that forwarded me the interview from the other night, and I saw it, and like I said, I think there's a few things. John's opponent brings a lot of things to the table. I mean, I think he's got half of Ireland coming to the fight. So
I was going to ask you about that.
We'll be there.
Yeah,
it's funny because in boxing, we look for ethnicity to sell tickets, and
yeah, definitely.
In John's opponent's case, he does have that. I'm sure he's through Irish. When we first signed John, we were trying to find, what are you? I mean, I'm Italian. I said, what are you? Yeah. And he's so many different things, we couldn't go out to any certain thing, because he's like the mutt.
The mutt. Go out to the mutters.
He can fight.
His mother was a mutter.
Hey, listen, he comes from great stock, great
I'm
family,
sure.
And I'm sure his opponent does as well. We didn't look at one thing. I'm an ex-professional athlete. I was an ice hockey player myself.
Oh, I do a little bit of the hockey myself. What'd you do in hockey?
Actually, it's funny to say that I graduated high school in 1984. I played on the first Garden State games. I don't know if you remember the Garden State games.
We might have tussled with each other in front of the net.
You were born in 1984.
We might have. Where did you come up?
He was born in 1984.
That's right. Oh, man.
Oh, he
was
way
screwed
off.
that one up.
Yeah, but I went on to play, in the minor leagues with the Dayton Dogs, which was at the time a Devils affiliate back in late '80s.
Ah, cool.
And been always an athlete. I played college football at King College. We're athlete. I'm an athlete. I understand these guys put into things. And in this case, you got two guys conditioned, ready to go. Again, it wasn't appreciated what John's opponent had to say the other night,
Right.
But, I can take it for a couple of things. He's selling tickets, and, great, if that's the way it feels. And we agree with one thing. I think we all have one thing in common.
Right. What is that?
We're all, fight night, it doesn't matter who says what. It matters who comes out and does their thing the best.
Absolutely.
For sure. So, listen, I'm going to put you on the spot right here. Any predictions? Any predictions for Friday night? What do you got for us?
Well, first prediction, I'll tell you this. The first and most important prediction is that I think we all know boxing is a game that these guys put their life on every time they go in the ring.
Right. Absolutely.
So, first and foremost, most important thing is that both John and his opponent come out of there healthy and with all their facts.
Hey, just to cut you off real quick, yeah. I love how you keep referring to them as the opponent.
You won't say his name. Why won't you say his name?
That's awesome. That's
no
awesome.
Disrespect. I got
absolutely
confused with the name. At one point I thought it was Flaherty. At one point I heard Farrell or Farragon.
Oh, he's not Egyptian. It's Farrell, not Farragon. hey, are you watching this show on the internet right now?
The most important thing is that these guys both come out healthy in one piece and with all the mental factors. But as far as prediction, John Lennox is going to have his hand raised on Friday night.
Oh.
Whoa! Okay.
Well, that's what we were saying. If you could watch right now, we got our Team Patty Boy shirts on right now.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to make this interview is one side of the fence or
partial.
Right.
We're
going to try to make it 50-50 as possible. But we are going to be there on Friday night. We're going to be chanting Patty Boy. I'm going to have one shirt on. I'm going to be waving the other shirt going around.
No, listen. You know what? I got to tell you, and I mean this, all the credit in the world goes out to his camp, and he has a great crowd. We know what we're going into as far as that goes. Normally, we would have a home field advantage, a home ring advantage in North Jersey, but this guy has a lot of backing, including you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that, but at the same time, it's all what happens in the square circle.
Absolutely.
And at that given moment, I think everybody's going to see John Lennox that truly is a top prospect.
How many Lennox fans are we expecting out there at the Birchwood Manor on Friday night?
You know what? I believe at this point in time, ticket show will be comparable to his opponent's crowd. I just think that nature of the beast. From what I understand, these guys come and they love to have a good time, which is a great thing. People are out there; they pay their money for a fight,
right,
and they love to have a good time. I will tell you, I don't know if they'll be as loud as the other guys' crowd.
Again.
All right, hey, Rich, one last question. What size Patty Boy T-shirt do you want? What are you good with, a large, an XL? What are you going to need?
Hey, guys. Hey, listen. You know what? What I will tell you is this. I don't plan on having one of them on anytime soon. But I also will tell you that whoever put. You know what? Hey, like I told you, you asked me for a prediction. John Lennox is going to have his hand raised on Friday night, and regardless of whatever happens, I'm sure if everybody has a good time, everybody gets out safe, it'll be a great night, successful night for everybody involved.
Hey, Rich, I want to tell you what, we really appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for breaking it down with us. We'll be out there Friday night. Hopefully we can meet you.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Hey, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you for your support to the sport of boxing, and I'll see you on Friday night.
All
All right, thanks a lot, Rich.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right, that was pretty
Wow.
interesting. He thinks he's gonna. He thinks Lennox is gonna have his hand raised.
Oh, straight WWF style, baby.
I really wish they were here so we could have did the.
Oh.
Look
Yeah,
what
we-
shirt I got on.
We thought we might have had Lennox in studio, but you know what? That probably would have ended with me getting a black eye.
Yeah, but that would have been a great viral video.
So for the sake of myself, thank God that's.
And to disappoint everybody who was hoping that we would be on YouTube with 1 million viral hits because of that, we're sorry. Next boxing match that comes up, we definitely got you guys.
Oh.
All right, let's take it to another video break. This one's from Heavy Bag. It's the audition. But when we get back, it's the Cause News Network.
Yeah.